Criminalization in aviation. Criminalization in the flight 3054. Flight 3054. We are here to talk just a little about this flight. It was a flight that was operated by a Brazilian airline. It was a domestic passenger flight. On July 17, 2011, aircraft flight 3054 departed from Porto Alegre, Salgado Filho International Airport to São Paulo International Airport, Congonhas, with 181 passengers and 6 crew on board. That day was very rainy. The runway was very slippery, very slippery. This situation was reported by other pilots that landed before the aircraft that was involved in this accident. The air traffic controller said to the aircraft that the runway was wet and that runway was slippery. And the pilot could also hear this in the AT's information. No doubt, the runway was very slippery. On July 17, 2007, the aircraft was cleared by the air traffic controller to land on runway 35 left at Congonhas International Airport in São Paulo. As the runway was very slippery, the crew could not stop the aircraft, and the aircraft overshot the runway and crashed a building on the other side of the airport. After the crash, the aircraft fired. In this fire, all passengers, all crew died. In addition, 12 people that were working at the building died too. Totally, 199 people died in this accident. The aircraft, an Airbus 320, had a mechanical trouble. The reverse was not operating normally. Then the airline company resolved to deactivate this device. Reverser is a device that helps the aircraft slow down while landing. On July 12/11, Brazilian Federal Prosecutor charged 3 professionals involved in this accident. In his opinion, they are responsible criminally for this accident, and they have to answer criminally for this accident. Let's see what people are there. In the point of view of the Brazilian Federal Prosecutor, the former director of Brazil National Civil Aviation Agency, ANAC, is one of the responsible for this accident. Another professional are the airline former vice president of operation and airline former safety director. The prosecutor officer says that 3 are to blame for allowing use of runway that was unsafe due to a faulty drainage system. 20 days before the accident, the recently repaved runway was authorized for use despite of lack of grooves that allow water to run off the runway and provide increased grip. The statement said that ANAC director acted imprudently by authorizing the use of the grooveless runway. The 2 airlines directors were blamed for allowing the company's aircraft to land in Congonhas, despite knowing of runway lack of grooves. In the charge presented by Brazilian Federal Prosecutors says that the directors of the airline company and the director of the ANAC knew that the runway was unsafe. How did they permit that aircraft land in that airport in those conditions? This is runway groove. The purpose of the runway groove is to eliminate hydroplane on wet water, result in a shorter distance for land. Another purpose of the runway groove is to reduce skids, all types of skids, result in a safer landing. We don't know if these people will be considered guilty or not guilty, but one thing I am sure, they will have to answer the accusation of the Brazilian federal prosecutors. Why did they permit that aircraft land in that airport in those conditions? Why did the ANAC director permit that the runway was to operate grooveless? If they know how to answer this, there is a probability to get free. We don't know, but let's see. If you want to learn more about this accident, study with me and read our book. I am Professor Kalazans from São Paulo, from Brazil. It will be a pleasure to have you on board.